How about the North Carolina Courage as we welcome you to On the Road with, presented by Continental Tire, an in-depth breakdown of your favorite team, the North Carolina Courage. Hello again, everybody. I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you for another On the Road presented by Continental Tire. I want to thank Travis Roffler, Amanda Henson, Julie Conlin, and all the great folks at Conti for bringing you this show. And I also want to thank my great co-host who will welcome in right now, Anna Whitty. Played for NCFCU, Cary High School, and Penn State. And Anna Whitty, down the stretch we go. Got to keep on burning those boats because it's win or go home time.
The knockout round is finally here. I'm glad that it's finally here. Those 4 games were important to see how they played and how they're going to play in these upcoming games. But this is when it gets serious. This is when the games really matter. So I'm excited.
All right, of course, their final prelim game was against McCall-Zerboni Sky Blue FC, and I really felt we saw a team on a mission. I felt like it was their best performance, and early on, they made sure Sky Blue FC knew they were ready to go.
I agree with you, Dean. I definitely think it was their best performance. They clearly got off to a great start with a goal in the 7th minute by Sam Mewis. She just had that one-touch goal. She was basically unmarked off that corner kick and exactly where she needed to be to get them up early. I thought they had great possession the entire game. And I think they just switched the point of the attack well. And I think they looked very fit as well. Everything you need this team to look like before heading into Friday and taking on the Portland Thorns again. So a great performance against Sky Blue. They should be proud of that.
I probably brag about Paul Riley too much, but I feel like his record speaks for itself. But make no mistake, Anna, you heard him. He said, I'm expecting big things from Sam Mewis. 7 minutes in, he got big things from Sam Mewis.
He predicted it, as I felt like he was going to anyway. Yes, Sam had a great game too. She was very dominant in the midfield for them. I think she passed well through the midfield too and was just a big presence and came up big on the first goal. As a leader, you need your leader to start the tempo like that. And I think that was just a great goal for her to have. I think Crystal Dunn had a great goal as well. She gave herself a ton of opportunities. This was just a great ball out wide to her. She had just one extra touch that she didn't need, but she redeemed herself here with a goal late in the second half. A great team performance, I would say. Really well played against Sky Blue.
Yeah, to be fair, it wasn't just Sam Mewis. He was also asking for Crystal Dunn to have a big game. Took this pass from Lynn Williams, and Dunn finished it. I thought she was brilliant. And then it was so much fun talking to her and Kristen Hamilton after the game. Today on the press conference, Anna Whitty, where I was joined with you and a whole bunch of other great members of the media, Abby Urseg drew the attention from Caitlin Rowland and Kristen Hamilton. I keep talking about Daniels, and I keep talking about Williams, and I keep talking about Davinia, but Abby Urseg's been as good as anybody in this tournament.
She has, and I think she's even won player of the match twice for us now. I think she's kind of like a silent, just solid defender, and that's what they need from her. And sometimes I feel like defenders don't really get that kind of recognition that they deserve, but she definitely has. I mean, she had that amazing goal against the Red Stars that put them up. This has been a great tournament from her. She's really stepped into her leadership well, especially having the young Addie Merrick on her right.
And hang on, if that's not enough, the true junkyard dog, my favorite, she knows it, I've said it, I apologize to all the great players, Denise O'Sullivan, automatically penciled in. The great folks at NWSL, they were able to catch up with Denise O'Sullivan after that win over Sky Blue FC, and we're going to share that with you now.
4 wins under your belt. Do you feel like the team is truly settled into playing at the top level? Are there any areas you still think that need some improvement?
Yeah, I think we're starting to settle in now. Everything's coming together. I think tonight was a good game for us. I think the first half we were a bit inconsistent up and down, and then the second half we controlled the game, kept the game flowing, and just dropped off and just got our breath a bit and just focused on defending. So it's going well, but I still think we can create a lot more chances and just be more calm in the building. Yeah, score more goals.
And we've seen a strong play from North Carolina in each game this tournament, but tonight, heading into the knockout rounds, you knew coming in, no matter what, you guys were going to be the number one seed. Do you approach a game like that any differently? Clearly didn't show tonight.
No, I think we take every game the same. We always just go out there and try and be better. I think it's always about the performance. It's not about the result with our team, and I think that's the main thing, the performance. So if we keep improving in every game, then we'll be happy with that.
And we know that the matchup on Friday will be against Portland, another strong side who has probably been your toughest match so far this tournament. What are you guys looking to take into that match?
Yeah, I think, creating more chances for us, I think that's the main thing. Controlling the game again, when to go and when to not go. Getting our number 10s involved, being creative, and, we look to get again to perform, and I think that's the main thing for us. If we perform good and go home, then I think we'll be happy, but hopefully we get 3 points and really perform well.
Well, thanks so much, Denise. We look forward to Friday.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
In the Citric Storm, Denise knows some of it. Who doesn't love that accent as well? That accent is awesome.
Yeah, she's always great to hear from. And I like what she said about we need to finish our opportunities in this next game. And I feel like that's what they've been working on in practice. They only had 1 goal against Portland. So I'm excited to see how these forwards and how these attacking midfielders get their opportunities on goal in this game. But another great thing that I've really enjoyed about this show is just getting able to talk with the Courage players and hear from them. So up next, we have Addison Merrick, who we sat down with our in-depth interview.
So here we go. It's the in-depth interview presented by Mendy, and we're so pleased to be joined by Addison Merrick. She joined us after her opening game, ironically, against Portland. She was brilliant at right back. She had another great performance in the last game. Paul Riley saying great things about her. And Addison, now it's win or go home time. Are you feeling a little extra pressure, or are you just trying to stay cool, stay relaxed?
I feel like for our team, it's more about performance right now. And obviously, we want to keep going and go as far as we can. But if I just keep performing and listening to my teammates, I feel like they keep my nerves down. I got a little nervous at the beginning of the first half was rough for me. So just calming my nerves down. I get nervous for every game, but they're there to talk to me and keep me through it. So just gotta stay calm. I will be nervous, but just playing through that and being confident.
We talked to Jaylene Daniels again. Of course, Jaylene Daniels is having an MVP-like performance during the NWSL Challenge Cup, and we asked her about you, and she said 2 things. She says, oh, man, she's so cute. I love her. And 2, I feel like she's already ready to listen and learn. Both were compliments, I think, Addison.
Yeah, no, I love working with Jay. She's super nice. She always gives me insight on what I can do better and what I can fix. And we hang out in the hotel and stuff, so I definitely help her a lot.
Well, your rookie season hasn't been a conventional one, but you've definitely made an impact on this team already. How are you feeling about your play in this tournament so far?
I feel like every day I get to come back and learn more practice. I get to just go in and really focus on something else that I want to get better at, and I feel like that's what's been helping me. Just open to knowing I'm going to make mistakes and just working on the recovery and not dwelling on it.
Well, your team has a lot of experience playing in knockout round games. How have you guys been mentally preparing for this first game on Friday? I know you've talked about being nervous and them helping you, but what specifically have they done to help you?
To help me specifically, it's just communication, just clearing things up, any mistakes that I've had in past games, just like talking through it, and really just making sure I have an understanding going into the next game of what my role is and how I'm supposed to fix that, not let things happen, because we're playing a really good team, and we want to make sure that we're playing on the back line because they can capitalize on those things.
I'm really big about tipping point moments. And so for me, you come in as the 28th pick. You're super excited. You've already told us, Addison, that you always wanted to be a pro player. For you in training, it started, it stopped. What was the tipping point where you said, hey, wait a minute, I got a chance to be the right back on arguably the best team in the world? When did that hit you?
I feel like it kind of hit me when we were in preseason. We were doing starters versus non-starters in practice, and Paul put me on the starting team. I was like, maybe I'm just getting the best for somebody else. Like, I'm just going to play the role as best I can. I haven't played right back in a really long time, so I was like, no, I'm just going to try to fill this role and learn what I can here. After that practice, it wasn't terrible. So I was like, like, let's just go for it. I went all in, and ended up getting rewarded. But I just have to keep that effort up every day. And you can't die down. So.
Paul Riley is arguably one of the best coaches in female soccer. How has it been like playing for him in just these past 4 games? And it's been a short amount of time, but what have you taken from playing under him so far?
There is a lot to take in. I feel like every day I'm always learning something. I'm learning how to release better and just like how to find my midfield players and basically just kind of press slow the game down in my mind. Just my touch has gotten better. I've gotten technically better since I've been here. He just helps me see the game in a new way and talks to me after practice about like new options and maybe new crosses or like just playing with your team and having fun with it. I feel like we do a good job sometimes. He's really focused on like making sure that we have fun and like you enjoy what you're doing and it's not like a job.
Addison, a lot of times elite level athletes, and you definitely are an elite level athlete playing on a premier level team, come from parents who are also athletes. I was excited to find out that your dad played for the Pittsburgh Pirates as a guy who grew up in Ohio. I remember the We Are Family days and Dave Parker and Willie Stargell and actually Barry Bonds played there a little bit. I know you don't know exactly his teammates because you probably weren't even born then, but that's pretty cool that your dad played in the major leagues. Has he shared any stories about what that meant to him?
Yeah, he just always told me that's a really cool experience. And playing on that level, like everybody's always watching me. But we don't talk much about it. He's more focused on like me and my successes, and he wants to just focus on like his energy towards my future versus his past. So.
All right, I've been doing this a long time, longer than you've been on this earth. And I will tell you, I'm kind of getting into the social media world. And I will say, and I think Anna Whitty will agree, and I'll let you ask another question, Anna, when I'm done here. Our interview with you after that game blew up on social media, and it was mostly that Kansas family. The Jayhawks, they love you.
I love my Jayhawk family. They always support me.
Well, I have to ask Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
Well, I have to ask about the NWSL coffee truck because that's another thing that's blown up on Twitter lately. And I've seen where a lot of NWSL fans have been paying for your coffee and for a lot of the players and coaching staff in the bubble. Can you talk about, I mean, that was just one small thing that the NWSL put in the bubble to make you guys feel more at home. What other ways has the NWSL made you guys feel comfortable during this really weird time?
I would say we've been really good with like just basic time slots. Like we're not running into teams that often, and when we do, it's pretty professional. Everyone has their mask on. So I feel like they've just been doing like basic little things that make us feel safe. That we all eat our own times, and I feel like that's been what's keeping things moving. It's not like we're waiting all day for like dinner or like a huge line all the time. I feel like that's just really been nice, and we feel comfortable in like obviously with our own team. So I feel like that's been really great for us.
Finally, Addison Merrick, last question. These shows, particularly on the road with North Carolina Courage, presented by Continental Tire, has been a great way for the great fans of North Carolina Courage to stay connected. I don't know if you saw at the end of the season last year off the World Cup, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 right up through the final. They're going to want to put their arms around you once we get through this COVID thing and get to know you better. What is your message to the fans of the North Carolina Courage?
I'm just excited I get to play with you guys, and I can't wait to get to meet some of the fans when we actually are able to have fans. I love talking to people. I love little kids. So I am all open for fans and like talking to people. So I just can't wait to get to know the people that I'm playing for.
All right, Addison Merrick. I know I speak for Anna Whitty when I say we've been super impressed. Paul Riley feels the same. Good luck against Portland, and hopefully you keep on burning those boats and getting it done for the North Carolina Courage. Thank you so much for being with us.
Of course, thank you.
All right, that was fun. And I got to say, Jaylene Daniels, as good as she's been on the field, I think her description of Addison Merrick was spot on, Anna.
I completely agree. She's been a fun character to just get to know. I'm excited for the Courage Country to get to know her too once they can actually play in person. But now, speaking of great people, I'd like to throw it to our fan interview, someone I know dearly, who I love and respect dearly, and I know the Courage Country does too.
Thank you, Anna. It's great to be with you for the fan profile presented by Continental Tire, and great to be with a familiar face, one that North Carolina Courage fans love, North Carolina FC fans love. Talking about Kelly Glendenning, now getting it done at Nashville and Major League Soccer as an analyst, but a longtime fan, worked for the club as well. Welcome to the Continental Tire fan profile, Kelly Glendenning.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be able to be on the show and, of course, talk about the Courage, who I just have loved from the beginning. So excited to be here, Dean. Thank you.
Well, I love that story. And give us the Cliff Note versions, because you've been a longtime Courage fan.
I have. So I grew up in Cary, North Carolina, and I was a fan of that original WUSA Carolina Courage. I grew up going to all the games at Wake Med Soccer Park. Watching superstars like Mia Hamm come into town was just so awesome. My personal favorite, though, was Danielle Fotopoulos. She played for the Courage, and so one of my fondest memories growing up as a Courage fan was actually getting to dress as her for Halloween, and I had the full kit, everything laid out, and it's to this day my favorite costume that I've ever had, because I felt so cool to be a professional soccer player for Halloween, and was so proud of it. But it's just been such a cool experience to then get to take that childhood dream of mine of playing for the Courage, which obviously didn't come to fruition, but getting to be on the front office side was really a dream come true for me.
Well, it's funny because I have the poster of the WSA team. I actually went down to Atlanta and we did a TV show. We used to have our own TV show on ESPN2 on Saturday mornings, and I'm with you. Photop was awesome. I love TR, Birgit Prinz, Hegarisa, one of the best players ever. I mean, what an outstanding team, right?
Yeah, they were phenomenal. And I'm thinking back to even being able to see people like Brianna Scurry play in goal, and see all those wonderful women who are now still so influential in the sport, but getting to see them in their prime was truly I don't think we're ever going to get something like that again. And seeing the NWSL come out though here, and you get to see stars every single weekend, is just, it's so cool to see it reborn in Cary, North Carolina, which is such a good soccer town. It's so cool to see them all there.
Well, you just said it. Anna Whitty tossed it to me. She went to the same high school as you, played on the same soccer team as you. You didn't graduate the same year, but now she's my co-host. She used to be my co-host. What is it about Cary High School and these big-time soccer players that are also big-time broadcasters?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we grew up so close to so many quality college programs, but then also club teams and high school. So getting to play with Anna was one of my fondest high school memories. She's one of the best people that I know, and it's so cool to watch her now pursue her broadcasting career. But I think honestly, it was just, we grew up watching the Courage. I saw them out there on the field, and it made me think to myself, I can do that one day, and I want to do that. And they looked like they were having so much fun, and they were so strong on and off the field. And I just wanted to emulate them. And I'm sure Anna probably feels the same. And I know she went to a bunch of college and professional games too growing up.
All right, I already mentioned that you've been a fan forever. You did a great job breaking down that story, but I also mentioned that the fans loved you because you were in the crowd with them and they interacted with you. Your message to the great fans of the North Carolina Courage, Kelly.
I mean, I want to say thank you to them for supporting a women's sport. And obviously they're so entertaining to watch. And so I hope that, fans who go to the games, and I hope that's the reason they keep coming back, is because they see the quality that's out there on the field. But I just also want to say I miss you guys too. It was such an honor to get to be in the stands, coming at you every week with an update on the team. You guys are the reason we do this, and obviously teams wouldn't exist if it weren't for the passionate fan groups. But I'm so excited to see the supporters continue to grow for the Courage. Nothing but good leadership in those groups as well. So I'm really excited to see where they're headed post the MWSL Challenge Cup, and beyond.
I think I speak for Jorge Acuna, our VP of Broadcasting, who's done an amazing job with this show and who might be your biggest fan when I say thank you, Kelly Glendenning, for being on the Continental Tire fan profile. It's great to see you again, Kelly.
Thank you, Dean. I really appreciate it.
All right. What is it about the water at Cary High School? Not just Kelly Glendenning, but Anna Whitty. That was pretty cool, Anna.
Oh, Kelly. Oh my gosh, I miss her. That was such a sweet message. I don't know. I mean, I know some of my fondest memories from high school were with her and some of our friends at Cary High. I definitely enjoyed playing with Kelly and just growing up with her. And yes, she's right. A lot of my memories of growing up and watching soccer, definitely Courage memories and some college soccer memories. So it was great to hear from Kelly, for sure.
All right, I've got one more plug, and then I'll let you toss to our next interview, and that is for Continental Tire because it was the Continental Tire Fan Corner. No matter where the summer takes you, Continental Tire provides the confidence to get you there. Now through August 31st, Continental Tire is offering up to $100 Visa prepaid card for every 4 qualifying light truck, SUV, or crossover tires purchased at your local dealer. Visit ContinentalTire.com for the full details. All right, we paid the bills, Anna. I'll let you toss to the next interview.
All right, we are going to go to our Healthier Toes interview. This is another huge fan of Kelly Glendenning's as well. She is the equipment manager for the North Carolina Courage, and Dean and I got a chance to speak with her today.
All right, it's great to have our Healthier Toes interview, and we are so pleased to be joined by Vanessa Fulcher. She is the equipment manager, but for me, Anna Whitty, she's more than that. She's the gatekeeper. If you even want to think about talking to a North Carolina Courage player, in my opinion, you better think about Vanessa Fulcher. She is the ultimate gatekeeper. You do a great job, Vanessa. Really appreciate you spending some time with us. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
And obviously, I'm kind of kidding, but I'm really not. You take a lot of pride in protecting this team and making sure that, for lack of a better word, they're taken care of.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of different things that go into my title, but I do take making sure that they're okay and the level stays professional and that they feel comfortable all the time. That's my number one priority.
Well, your job is always important, like Dean just said, but right now it's more important than ever just to keep things safe and clean. So what part of your job has changed since being in Utah?
I think I've cleaned more things than I've ever cleaned in my entire life. We sanitize every cone, every mat, everything that gets touched, and unfortunately for me, I am the person that has to touch everything that they also touch. So it's super important that I'm very on top of everything that I do to make sure that they stay safe. If anything gets touched clothing-wise at all, a penny, it immediately goes into a plastic bag and gets washed right away. So it's been a lot more laundry than I think I've ever done ever. And if I don't have to do laundry for the entire month of August, I'll be really happy.
Well, the NWSL has led the way in bringing back sports to America. And right now we're seeing a lot of other leagues kind of struggling to start back up because of COVID. What do you think the NWSL is doing right and all these other leagues are probably doing wrong?
I think that the entire PA did a very good job with making sure the players understood the importance of wearing a mask and washing hands and making sure that we were safe in the hotels. I mean, we have our own floors. We're not really mingling at all. You see each other in the lobby, and that's about it. And they've just been very diligent with us. They've given us clear-cut guidelines, and they've done an amazing job just setting us up to be successful for this.
Paul Riley's only complaint is that he can't get any fish. Short of that, he said it's really been perfect, and it's really helped expand the growth of this team. More film study, more one-on-ones, more individual group training with defenders, midfielders, and forwards. He's liked every part of it. What are your thoughts on his sentiments?
I completely agree with him. I mean, I think it's been really good just for like team camaraderie too. I mean, we're together a lot, but we do each have our own rooms. So when they do feel that need to step away for a second, they can. But they also play games every night, and everybody's very included. So it was almost like we were able to bring the family together very fast, since we had everybody at once. And training has been really great. It's quick. It's the facility is amazing. I can't thank everybody enough for that.
Well, I asked Addison about the coffee truck, so I'm going to ask you about it. Have you taken advantage of it? And if you have, kind of what's your go-to?
So if I could have an IV of iced vanilla lattes, I would. I'm one of those very addicted to coffee people. So I drink probably 2 to 3 cups from the coffee truck a day, because I stay later than the rest of the players and I do laundry there. I cannot, I would die if 801 Coffee Roasters was not there with us. And the fans coming through and uproar, everybody donating so that we could get coffee, that is like gold to me. That was the best thing that's ever happened.
Well, Vanessa, you've been at some pretty cool places. You've been at ECU, you've been at TCU, and actually worked with Ryan Williams, who played a great game the other day at right back. You've been at Marshall. You've been at all kinds of cool places. At the end of the day, when you can celebrate a championship with a team, no matter what the level is, it's a different level. And one thing I've noticed, and I hope you will agree, every championship, I feel like the Courage players are definitely like, where's Vanessa? We got to get her out there. You know, when I intro the team, I always make sure I say your name. And when I do, players go bonkers. That has to make you feel amazing.
It really does. I didn't know what to expect when I took this job. I came from a college equipment background. I take the athletic part out of it. I've never met a better group of just women. They're amazing humans, and they've really welcomed me into their family. I know I joke a lot that we are a family. It's very serious, and it does make me feel really good that they appreciate all the work that goes into making things go. They don't let me feel bad about that. So.
Well, my last question is just about pre and post game, just keeping things safe. I've been in a locker room myself. I know how things can, it's just like kind of a gross environment sometimes. And then, of course, ice baths and stuff like that. So how do you control those things, and how do you make sure things stay safe pre and post game?
So pre-game, I go in probably about 2.5 hours before the team arrives to set up the locker room. The cleaning facility, the cleaning crew that's been here is amazing. They come in and sanitize everything before I walk in. I make sure each person has their individual area, and then I try and clean up as much as I can as we go. At halftime, I clean out all the trash, anything that could happen, and make sure everything's in specific piles, and I pull it before the team comes back in. Ice baths, we just make sure that they're rinsing off before they get into the ice baths, and then they shower again after they get out of the ice bath. But it's a lot of, unfortunately, being on them, just a lot, to make sure they're doing the things right. And they're very good. You really don't have to harp on them. They understand the severity of this and how important it is to be diligent.
All right, this is the last question, and I think it's the most important one, so make sure you pay attention to it. We started this by saying that you are the ultimate gatekeeper. We are hoping, and I'm going to speak for Anna, by putting you on the Help Your Toes interview and getting to know you better, and it's been awesome because you got a great personality, that the next time Dean and Anna are around, Vanessa Fulcher will just crack open that gate just a little bit so we can get in there and be around. What do you think, Vanessa?
I think we can make it happen.
All right, awesome. That's all we wanted to hear. Vanessa Fulcher, the team loves you. We love you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that gate is open. I'm telling you what, she has so much pride in protecting that team. You got to admire it.
I've seen her all over the Courage socials. I know all the players are just big fans of hers. So it was fun to just sit down with her. Hopefully we can bring a camera with us, Dean, when we get behind the gates, show everyone what we see. But yeah, she's fun.
All right, so really, Anna, at this point, the fun stuff's behind us. Now we got to start clenching up a little bit, because guess what? As we look at this bracket, this is real. On Friday at 12:30 on CBS All Access, it's once again the North Carolina Courage and the Portland Thorns. They met in the NWSL championship game in consecutive years. Finally, it was a different team last year in Chicago, but this matchup is the rivalry of rivalries in the league.
I didn't think we'd see it again this early, but I mean, here we are. I don't think this game will look anything like the last game when they played the Portland Thorns. I think both teams have kind of figured out what works for them. But Dean, you and I, like we were talking about earlier, were on the press conference with Paul Riley when he spoke about they're only watching the Portland Thorns game when they played the Portland Thorns. So I think some of the expectations that they have for them is exactly what we saw on that June 27th game. But yes, I'm fingers crossed that we don't go into PKs or anything. But again, this will be a really great matchup.
We'll talk more about that in just a second. But you look at the other game, obviously Utah as the host, you kind of want them to win. But this Houston team, I've been impressed with. They've scored some unbelievable goals.
Yeah, Shea Groom, Rachel Daly, Christy Newish, just to name a few, have just been on fire for this team. I know they were kind of the team going into the tournament that nobody knew what to expect anything from, but I think they've shown what they're capable of. I think this will be a good game against Utah. Personally, I'd love to see a Utah Courage game in the semifinals, but who knows? It'll be a good matchup as well.
Hard for me to call the Olau Reigns Chicago Red Stars game because the Red Stars have played so many players. And so I'm not quite sure what they're going to do. The Rain's still trying to find their identity. But this last game with the Washington Spirit, of course, our hearts and prayers go out to Andy Sullivan with that injury. We hope she can recover. But this team is talented, and Sky Blue showed a little bit of fight too.
They did, and they're both young teams. I think we'll expect a good game from them as well. I think the Washington Spirit have had a great tournament. But the Sky Blue had a better tournament on the latter half. I think they had a good game against us the other night. This will be a good game to watch as well. I don't know. I feel like the Spirit will pull it up, though, personally.
All right, let's head out to the practice field where Megan Rogers and Bobby Hammond, the general manager for the North Carolina Courage, they've done a great job getting footage the entire time that the team's been in the bubble. I love watching this. Paul Riley, when he talks, he's like E.F. Hutton. Everybody is listening. The team works hard. And as we've said so many times on this show, every practice counts.
Yes, for sure. And I think, like I've said, that's how he decides his lineup. So every player knows when you go to practice, you have to play your best if you want to play in the games. But I think this team has already adapted to playing in Utah, playing in the heat, because, again, it's a 12:30 game, 10:30 a.m. their time. But I think they're just trying to get touches, trying to stay loose, and trying to stay out of their own head now that it's these knockout games and they matter more. But there you see, Stephanie LeVay, we may head into PKs. I hope it doesn't happen. But you know for a fact that they're practicing that just in case.
Yeah, they got to be ready. All right, here's the deal. When you think about the Portland Thorns, there's no Tobin East, so that helps the North Carolina Courage. Christine Sinclair still working a few things out. The word is we're not sure if Sauerbrun's going to even play. But if there was ever one team that had one player that just needed one moment, it's Portland and Lindsey Horan, one of the best in the world.
They have to be careful with her up top. She is just dangerous alone by herself. This Portland team struggled a little bit after they played the Courage, but in the last game they didn't have Sauerbrunn and they didn't have Lindsey Horan. So this game will be different. I know Lindsey Horan wants this. I know she's spoken about wanting to beat the Courage and just trying to build a new team with this Portland Thorns organization. But yeah, they need to make sure the ball doesn't hit that girl's head or hit her foot. And make sure they don't find her in behind, because that's where she's the most dangerous.
Finally, as you see this huddle here on the Road presented by Continental Tire, dare I say, Jorge Acuna, the VP of Broadcasting, Anna Whitty, we're getting pretty good at this. We got to keep playing. I don't want to stop doing this.
I know. I was thinking about that today when I was prepping for this game. I was like, man, I enjoy these press conferences. I really enjoy hanging out with you, Dean. Jorge's just done a phenomenal job with these shows. Courage Country, I've loved getting to know you as well. This has just been a joy to be a part of. So thank you for having me, Dean.
All right, great job. We want to thank Steve Malik, the owner. Always want to thank Kurt Johnson, Pete Chandra, Kyle Perry, and Santiago. Their work getting the sponsors on these shows has been amazing. You already touched on Jorge Acuna. For my co-host, the talented Anna Whitty, I'm Dean Linke. We'll see you Friday for the pregame show presented by Aetna, high noon live, and then we'll bring you the postgame show presented by Charles and Colvard right after that game. Hopefully a win for the North Carolina Courage, because if they win, it means one thing. I get to say it. You know it. How about the North Carolina Courage?